Rabbeinu Avraham ben Rambam is talking to us about contentment with little.
Shalom Aleichem.
To be content with what you have. I'll read again. ועיקר ההסתפקות הוא שלא תהיה הנפש תלויה בתענוגות העולם. Contentment is present when the soul does not cling to the pleasures of this world. Cling is an incorrect translation here, but rather dependent. When you don't become dependent on these things. ולא תשאף לדבר שאיננו בגדר ההכרח. And to not desire things that are not necessary. וההתקשרות המביאה לידי הסתפקות היא התקשרות הנפש, והרגלתה להצטמצם בדברים שבהכרח ולהתרחק מן המותרות. ולמעט בתקוות השווא ולהשעות את הלב מהן והלאה על ידי שלמויות מועילות. To instill contentment, train and accustom yourself to suffice with essentials and avoid luxuries. Restrain pointless hopes and direct the mind away from them by pursuing productive spiritual development. This is where we ended off last week. We continue today. וכבר אמר שלמה. King Shlomo already says, כי האוהב כסף לא ישבע מהוסיף עליו. Someone who loves money will never have enough money. A person has to have a number of money in which they say, I have enough. What's the number that you're going to reach in which you say, done, I'm done, I don't need anything more. If you don't have that number, you are desiring money too much. You don't need it. Make a number. Every person has a different number. But make that number. Once you hit that number, stop. That number doesn't change. Oh, now that I hit the number, I want the next number. No, it's not. We're not playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We're playing here life. I have a number. I can pay my bills. I can take care of my kids. Whatever it is that you have, I don't need more than that. But somebody who loves money, not all the money in the world will not help them. Ohev kesef lo yisba kesef. One who loves money will never be satisfied with money. והרי זו דוגמה לשאר דברים והפרט מלמד על הכלל, and this is only one example from many, but this individual rule will teach you about everything else. I mean, you could say the same thing about food. One who loves food will never eat enough. One who loves it's not just about money that we're talking about, but anything. Somebody who likes fine wine, well, so they had once, you have Shabbat. No, why every day?
You get honor or accolades from other people.
Very good. I mean, there should be a quota which you fill, and that's all you need, or don't need at all. That dependency on something is dangerous for a person. It leads me to not be happy with the things that I have. והוא דבר שאינו קצבה. And this is something which has it's boundless. The need for things. כמו שנאמר, לא תשבע עין לראות ולא תמלא אוזן משמוע, like it says in Kehillat, the eye will never be satisfied with what it sees, the ear will never be filled with what it hears. Yeah?
Maybe it comes from not really being satisfied with who you are, so you're always looking for something else.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what we're talking about, that a person is not happy with not just who they are, but what they have.
Yeah. I'm wondering, though, if you're not satisfied with who you are,
you try to compensate with other things.
Other things, yes.
But here, we're not just talking about a person not happy with who they are, but also with what they have. Those are two problems that might be related, but they're not necessarily the same problem.
But she's saying
I can be happy with who I am and still want more.
Okay.
I'm not happy with what I have. I'm happy with who I am. And you could say those things are more deeply connected than I would like to say, perhaps.
Or maybe.
I think what she's saying is like that's the root. The root of not being happy with yourself makes you want other things. If you can learn how to.
So define to me how to be happy with yourself.
That's a good question. I think that's
How to?
$1 million.
What does it know? What does it mean? Being happy with yourself. Being happy with what?
With
what you have. No, it goes back to people very much associate themselves with the things they have. Even people who don't have associate themselves with what they don't have.
Okay, but that's not a healthy place to be.
No. What I'm telling you, it is where everyone is.
I don't know. Okay.
So let's try it. Give an example. So what does it mean to be happy with who you are? What are you happy with?
I think like your character, like the way you treat other people, and like humility and like those kind of things.
Your character traits, which are directly connected most to other people.
How you it's like I think it's connected to your ego.
So it only has to do with your character traits. Being happy with myself is happy with where I am in terms of treating other people and humility and.
It's accepting who you are as a human being, which is not so
What-
easy to do.
No, but you keep saying the sentence. What does it mean? What do you mean who you
It's-
are as a human being? Who are you?
I am my thoughts, my feelings, my experience, my desires, my ambitions.
My desires. That's one of the things we're talking about right now. You're trying to divorce something because it sounds good, but it's not true.
It's connected.
Don't agree with me, argue with me. Have an argument, argue. I'm trying to get you to say something.
I think if a person feels okay about who they are,
But
on an
Marlene,
emotional,
you're
psychological
saying it
level.
again. Don't define to me who you are by being good at who you are. What define that term with another
That's
word.
not such an easy thing to do. Nevertheless, I don't think that a person who keeps craving more and more just craves things because of the things. I think it comes from a deeper root of not being satisfied with the person that they see themselves as. So if I can't explain it so in such good detail, I'm sorry, but that's just what I'm thinking. I think that craving more and more is an unhealthy behavior that stems from something else.
On the
So
other
you-
hand, if
so
you
you're
don't
saying-
desire anything, you won't get anything.
But you have to, you have to.
So you're saying that if you're not happy with your life, it's still different from not being happy with yourself. In other
I
words,
think
they are
so.
two separate things.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of stories of people that don't have anything and they're still happy people, like Reb Zusha.
But
Have a lot.
just by saying that, you're connecting someone's happiness or lack thereof with what they have. I mean, they don't have and they're still happy.
Right.
According to you, that shouldn't exist. That shouldn't have a ramification on their happiness.
Exactly. That is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying too. So now we agree.
No,
Now
you
we just have to
said-
bring
no,
Marlene on board.
No, you said that you're happy when you're content with what you have. Well, I guess yeah.
Well, when you need something external to you to validate who you are.
Who said we're only talking about things external to us?
Well, I need more.
Is greed external?
No, but what do you have greed about?
That's
But
what
you
the
want
Lord
more
Buddha
things.
says, if you don't desire more, you don't have any problem.
It's like what you said. Sometimes it's greed for honor.
Okay, but that also comes from a lack of self-esteem.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm trying to tell you is that you can't divorce your self-esteem from the things that you need. Those two things are directly connected with each
Yeah, I
other.
think it's like one like.
But what if
I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm helping you define what it is you're trying to tell me.
It's not even right or wrong. I mean, I just see things one way, maybe you see things another way. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong.
No, I think you're saying the same thing that he's saying. 'Cause, like,
When people tell me you need a healthy self-esteem, you have to be happy with who you are or what you are. So tell me, what does that mean? Without talking to me about other things that are external to you. And so far, I'm waiting for that person to speak.
When I say that, it's kind of like
I'm not picking on you, but it's an idea. It's a very good point. We say a lot of things in American New Age, spiritual. I'm not blaming you for Marlene is the furthest person from American New Age, by the way, in case you were wondering. But there are things that creep into our vocabulary. Be happy with who you are. What does that mean?
be happy with what you got also. Who you
So what you have is part of who you are.
No,
Even if you don't have, meaning even the guy, I don't know him, but even the guy who lives in a van is happy to live in a van. You understand? That means he's happy to not live in a house. But that tells you that abandoning something also identifies you with what you don't have. I'm happy to not be one of those people who has to pay a mortgage.
it's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome, I know, right? What,
I think in general, being someone who's happy.
happy with?
what they have.
They're happy because they,
With the way like
I
their
mean,
life.
because if you're looking for something more, you may not be happy.
Well, there's plenty of people that think they're doing just great. They just need more money.
That's,
That's a very good. That's the whole problem. There's a lot of people like I think that's the most common case.
Is with money.
Yeah, that
That's
there's
probably
like,
why he's talking about it.
big
Because
egos. You got like sports people. I mean, there's people that we would admire. There's people that we don't admire, but internally they are saying to themselves like, everything's cool with me except for my cash. my wallet.
So that's greed.
At all kinds of levels.
I don't think it's so foreign.
I don't know if it's always
It's just-
greed. Is it always greed?
No,
is
Rabbi
always
Yonatan Halevy
greed?
doesn't use the word greed. You'll notice the word greed here is put in brackets. I'm not sure that was a good
Bracket.
Yeah.
bracket. You're right. I don't know if that was wise. Because, look, this is a good point. There are people who are content with themselves, but they want more of something. Now, you'll argue, but then you're not really content with yourself.
Well, I'm
And I hear that. I agree with you on that, by the way. But that's I think that's the reality that many people are living.
Well, you could say I'm comfortable with who I am, and with what I'm doing, how I'm thinking, and so on. But I would like to accomplish X, Y, and Z, but I need other resources to do that.
Marlene, you don't spend enough time at Home Depot. All you have to do is walk into Home Depot and watch one of these guys with like a big beer T-shirt on and saying if you ask him what he needs, he goes, "I just need more money."
Okay. I don't like shopping, so.
He's happy with who he
I
is.
think that
He just
people,
doesn't have the cash.
when we're talking about contentment with little, I'm going to give you an example. There are people, it bothers them their height. Their hair color bothers them. The shape of their nose bothers them. Other parts of their body might bother them. People are not content with what they have. Part of what they have is very much directed to who they are. And I'm just saying that to separate those two things, I think is not just splitting a hair, but I'm still waiting to hear the example from the other side. And I'm willing to be wrong about this. It's not just possessions. It's part of us that we're not content with. And that also is what he's talking about. You're not happy with your height? Why? Who cares? Who told you that your height is a problem? I'm too tall, you're too short, you're too... You hear this, who says who? Who dictates what shaped face you need to have to be attractive? Why am I not content with the shape of my nose? I've never understood this for life. And I'm not here to embarrass anybody, but really, before a person comes to do some kind of plastic surgery, unless there's, there are people getting car accidents, were born with birth defects, they like to, they don't want to stick out. But somebody who, they want their nose longer or shorter, or their ears are too floppy for them. So someone like this, there should be a mandatory psychological evaluation before a person has to go for surgery. Not because there's something wrong with them, but perhaps we could fix this problem without cutting you up into pieces. Maybe we could just talk to you about, why do you feel so bad about the shape of your chin? It's not a natural thing for me to wake up and despise myself. But he's also talking about that. He's just saying apply this rule about money to everything else. The same person who's not happy about their hair color probably is not happy about a bunch of other things that they also take care of. And it goes back to being happy with yourself, which I'm telling you, being happy with yourself has very much to do with all the things that are around you also. We like to tell people, give people advice that is unattainable. Be more grounded. What does that mean? I am who I am. Be happier with your life. Clearly, I'm not happy with what do you want from me? These are things that we give advice to people that it's very difficult to ask people to...
Those are really big things.
But people throw it out like it's pennies in the street.
It's like somebody be tall would be happy.
I can already hear it like, be more grounded. And you say, well, how am I more grounded? You just have to be happy with who you are. Well, how am I happy with who I am?
That's your definition.
Yeah, like how do I get there?
You just have to be more grounded. This is a cycle that goes around.
Yeah.
V'amar Abba Mori Zatzal. My
Okay,
father,
that's
my
right.
teacher of blessed memory. Who's he referring to?
Oh, the Rambam.
The Rambam. Very good.
Yeah.
There's no other book in the world like this. My father, the Rambam. My father said, Bazeh, he said about this, She'im kalta nafshecha, shi'u kelecha klei kesef, on page 320.
Rambam's son is writing it, right?
Yes. He said, we're on top page 320. If your desire is fixated on silver utensils, put an F there. Zechor sheklei zahav na'im mehem. Remember that gold is nicer. V'yesh osim otam b'bdolach. What's b'dolach?
Dora.
In Hebrew, when we talk about crystal nacht, it's called Leil Habdolach, the night of crystal, the night of glass. Bdolach is the word for clear. Here it's talking about crystal. חובת ההסתפרות חלה איפה על כל בר דעת כי היא האושר לאמיתו. Rambam is telling you that You think that you're happy with silver? You just wait till you have silver. Then you'll want gold. You think you're happy with gold? Just remember that some people like crystal more than they like gold. Platinum, whatever, I don't know, titanium, I don't know how these things work. There are people that always want, once you get to that level, for example, even the guy at Home Depot that you're going to meet, he asks, what do you want? $100,000. Once he has $100,000, I promise you he's not going to stop telling people he needs money. He just now needs more money. So then he wasn't really happy with $100,000, was he? It says the Rambam, you have to understand that the truest wealth is to be content with what you have. Because what is wealth? It's when, in your head, what is wealth? When I don't need anything anymore. But clearly most wealthy people have never hit that place of wealth because they're always needing more. In which case, you could be very poor, but be very wealthy. That's what it means. Ezehu Ashir, who is wealthy? HaSamech b'chelko, who is happy with what he has. It's not some kind of spiritual wealth. It's real wealth. You have the multi-millionaire that's he's still feeling bad because his yacht isn't as big as his friends. So he's not really wealthy because he still needs. Because the definition of wealth is when I don't need anymore. When you're so rich that no bill that can be thrown at you is too big for you. But then there are people that doesn't make a difference. You know, amazing. I once spoke to somebody who works in an insurance company. The wealthiest people on earth are the ones who are fighting all the bills in the world. Oftentimes, people who have very little just pay things and keep moving. Why are you fighting so much? It's a matter of principle. My money shouldn't go. So then you're not really wealthy, are you? I'm not that people should take your money, but wealth is really in your mind. So the moment you realize I'm really happy with what I have, so who needs something else? This is all kinds of things in life. You have this in so many areas that people want more. And wanting more is okay. But wanting more is also very dangerous. A very common thing in the United States is say if you want to get rich in the United States, get involved in two businesses. Growing hair on bald people and weight loss. These are two businesses that make a lot of money in the United States. You promise somebody that you're going to rub some cream on their head and they're going to get hair, you can make millions from this. The same thing, they promise you take these pills and in 30 days you're going to look like this is... There's a whole world of people that are not happy with what they have. And there's a whole world of people who help people not be happy with what they have. They're riding on someone else's misery. But it happens in everything with houses. There are people who buy a house. They're not happy to have a house. They want another house. Why do they want another house? It's a vacation. Okay, so you got one house and a vacation house. So why'd you buy the third house? I needed an investment house. Okay, so you bought one house to live in, one house to vacation, one house and investment. Why do you need another house? Because I can make more money. But why do you need more money? You now have 3 times more houses than the average person in the United States. So aren't you happy? And there are people now that are jealous of you. Mission accomplished. It's not enough for me. So then really, even buying a 10th house is not going to make you happy. So just stop buying houses. Invest your money in something else. But people are, this is the way the world works. Cars. I know a person who has 7 cars.
Really?
One person. One he does this with, one he does that with, one he does... What's the point of that?
He wants different
He
things.
wants, but his wanting, he has money, but he can never satisfy his wanting with money.
Possible.
And Rav Zusha is an extreme. Rav Zusha of Anapoli, the man who was dirt poor but was happy, it's an extreme. I'm not asking to be an extreme. You have a place to live. You're able to pay that bill. So you have a house. You can't live in 2 houses at the same time. So you're the wealthiest person. You have a house. What do you need another house for? You have a house. You can lock the door and nobody else can come inside. You're a homeowner. So you rent. So what? You're still a homeowner. For these 30 days, you paid your money. You're a homeowner. Who cares if you're the homeowner or not the homeowner? You're upset that your money's going down the drain. Your money would go down the drain in other ways. So you'd be a homeowner and the roof would have a problem, you have to pay for that also. The swimming pool had a problem, you have to fill it in with cement. The floor had a flood, so you'd have to be the one to pay for it. Your property taxes, anyways you're paying. So what's the difference to you if you're, why do you feel so bad that you're just a renter? At the end of the day, you're the same as a person who owns a house. He's paying the bank every month and you're paying the landlord every month. What's the difference?
Well, to be fair, when you own a house, you have a lot more responsibility, of course, but you also have the feeling of security.
It's a feeling.
Sorry.
It's a feeling.
Feeling.
Is it? Yeah, it's a feeling.
A feeling.
You can create that feeling without owning the house.
You can, but...
Well, but is it security?
Hold on, all of those who have invested in houses and feel very happy about it, I'm not here to make you upset. That's not the point of what I'm saying. You're not losers for investing in houses. Not the point.
No.
But there are some people who beat themselves up for things. What's the difference at the end of the day between you and your neighbor, one who owns the house, the one who rents the house?
Most of the rich people own real estate properties. Majority of the rich people.
Eli, I'm going to have to throw your testimony out of court because you're biased in this opinion.
Yeah, what's your background, Eli?
It has nothing to do with real estate.
Yeah, no real estate in your background, right?
I'm not convincing you also not to invest in real estate. But that feeling of every morning you come out of your house, you look at your driveway, it's not mine, this. So, you know, Angel's been on a mission to convince me the cat in my backyard is my cat. The truth is, I feed him 3 times a day anyways. Who cares if I keep telling people it's not my cat? At the end of the day, it's still my cat. So I just have to make peace with my situation and be happy about it. This cat adopted me.
Right.
And now is stuck forever.
That's right.
Either I die or he dies, but this is the story of the cat.
You're both
And so you
I
make
can
peace.
help you with that.
With which part?
The cat.
You like
But
cats?
No, I'm just joking.
You have a car.
No.
I don't think he does.
You're driving a sports car. You're driving a normal car.
A normal car.
You're still stuck with the same 65-mile-an-hour speed limit on the freeway. You can't take your Lamborghini going 130 miles an hour down the highway. You could. You'd get a ticket for it. So then what's the difference between you and the Toyota Camry? What's wrong with the Toyota Camry? I'm not saying anything wrong with the Toyota Camry. By the way, this is the car that's stuck in my head.
There are cheaper cars than the Toyota Camry.
Your Toyota was a
Corolla.
I drove for a while a Toyota
bicycle.
Yaris. You know a Yaris?
Yes.
It's not even a name you hear because they're so small. Yaris, you kind of wind it up and
Yeah, very small.
I drove it the what's it called? Not odometer, the speedometer was in the middle of the. It's not even like they didn't even bother investing in the image of this car. It was just get in, it turns on, it drives. What's really the difference? We both drive 65 miles an hour. I could even pass the Lamborghini on the freeway. So my car makes a little more noise. The air conditioning isn't like it. So what? I still get to Los Angeles at the same time the Lamborghini gets to Los Angeles. Why have we allowed people to present us like we have so many things that we actually are lacking? The things that we have, we're not really lacking. You're not lacking a house. Everyone here lives somewhere. Everyone here has something to drive, except for Mendel. I apologize. So
Well,
one day.
I mean,
That's
I
what I said.
Yes,
Everyone.
You'll get
So then, what's the this is what Rabbeinu Avraham ben Rambam is trying to tell you. This is it's a condition of your mind, and not a condition of what you have. And that's what Marlene was actually trying to say in the beginning. She didn't mean to say it the way she said it. Is that really contentment has to do with who you are, but who you are is directly connected to what you have, not with what you have, but how you approach the things that you have. Can we make truce? So Hashem, we're going to continue tomorrow night.